In this lecture, I want to address some of the most common sourcing mistakes that many new sellers make and to hopefully save you from doing the same. Now, since you're selling on Amazon, there is a good chance that you're sourcing your products on Alibaba or through other factories in China. Now, that is great because margins are pretty high, but you need to understand that China has different quality levels of products. So you need to keep an eye off the whole process to avoid getting low quality products. Also, since on Alibaba anyone can create a storefront, it's very easy for scammers and middlemen to get on this website. So you will need to add an additional layer of protection in order to do business only with legitimate suppliers and manufacturers. So the first mistake is that many sellers don't do any double checking on suppliers' legitimacy. So you want to make sure that first, it's not a scam company, and second, that you're not dealing with a middleman. So basically, when checking legitimacy of a company, use the checklist that I have prepared for you and that you can download in the resource tab of this lecture. So for example, some of the most important things that you should always check is, for example, how long they were a gold supplier on Alibaba. Also check from which email address are you communicating with them, but keep in mind that many legitimate suppliers are also using free email services such as Yahoo or Gmail. And also a good indicator if they're a good and legitimate company is that if they have been assessed by any third-party company. Also, you can go even a step further and pay a Chinese sourcing agent on Upwork, for example, to call the company and check their legitimacy. Also, you want to make sure that you're dealing with manufacturer instead of a middleman. In most cases, middlemen only increase prices without any value added. However, if a middleman is providing you a good service in terms of lower MOQ or any value added to the whole process of sourcing products, then you can still get away with doing business with middlemen. But still, I prefer and also highly recommend that you work and develop a relationship with manufacturers directly. Second common mistake is that many sellers place order without double checking product quality. So getting sample is one thing, because most suppliers send the best product units as samples, but you want to make sure that the products that you're going to send to Amazon FBA are great without any defects. Now you can check the product quality by paying Chinese sourcing agents to inspect your product after the production has been completed. This way you won't release the rest of the payment unless the product quality is as you expected. Now in the resource tab of this lecture I have included links to some third-party quality testing companies in China. Now, if your order is low and if simply isn't cost effective to hire a third-party company to control your products, then you can at least ask for images or video recording after the production has been completed. Also, a great way to make sure that products have survived the shipping from China to the United States is to have someone in the United States to check the product quality before sending it to Amazon FBA warehouses. Now, this is because if you send faulty products to Amazon FBA, you could end up with lots of negative reviews. So if you don't live in the United States, or if you don't have anyone in the United States who can check your product quality, then you can use FBA inspection services so they can inspect your product condition before sending it to Amazon FBA. Now keep in mind that they will inspect only the condition of products. So if it's faulty, if packaging is okay, if colors are as you ordered, and other similar stuff. But keep in mind that they are not professionals in terms of inspecting quality of materials, for example. This is your due diligence before your inventory even leaves Chinese factory. Next mistake is that many don't check lead times. Now this is very important because you want to know how you can plan your inventory levels. You simply don't want to work with a supplier that has lead time of 2 months, for example. Because if you add shipping and processing with Amazon FBA, that can easily lead up to 3 or even 4 months. And also, long lead time can be a sign that you're working with a middleman. So I highly suggest that lead time is less than 1 month. And finally, the last but not least mistake is failure to obtain product certificates. especially if you're selling food, electronic, baby, or beauty products. If you're sourcing one of these types of products, it's your due diligence to check if certificate is valid. And also, it's your responsibility to test the products before you import them to the United States or any country. Now, please check the resource tab of this lecture for more helpful links about this topic of checking and testing product quality and certificates. So that's it for now. Please make sure not to make these mistakes, and also if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the discussion tab of this lecture. And also, you can join my VIP list for more valuable content pieces at winwinacademy.com.